Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. Thank you guys for being here today. Today is May 3rd, 2022. Our thought for today is a man must be big enough to admit his mistakes, smart enough to profit from them, and strong enough to correct them. John C. Maxwell. I'm gonna go ahead and officially call this meeting to order tonight. We're gonna ask that Commissioner Henderson, and thank you so much, sir, for running the meeting in my absence. I greatly appreciate that. I had to leave pretty quickly, and thank you for filling in for me. You did a great job. We're going to ask Commissioner Henderson if he would lead us in our invocation, and we're going to ask Commissioner Mason if he would lead us in our pledge.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I just want to just say this before I do the invocation, is that if any way possible next time, let me know ahead of time, because I was just like slammed coming here, and I was scrambling trying to find my glasses. I couldn't seem to find them, and I had to conduct the meeting, but through it all, I thank God I made it. Would everyone bow their heads, please? Once again, Heavenly Father, we come with thanksgiving in our hearts. My Father, we come to just say thank you. We thank you for being just a good God, a great God, being God Almighty. May you conduct this meeting the way that you would have it to go. This we pray. In our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner Henderson, and thank you, Commissioner Mason, so much. I do want to recognize, I just saw Senator Anderson here tonight. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Next on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. I seek a motion that we adopt the agenda tonight.
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you. Next on the agenda is citizens' comments. This opportunity that we allow citizens to come up and make comments about agenda topics only. Agenda topics only. Agenda topics only. You do have 3 minutes to do so. If you would, please come at this time and state your name, your address for the record, please. Agenda topics only. Agenda topics only. Is that all right? Thank you. Next we will have the chairman's, is it? Next we will have the chairman's report. Ms. Jennifer Phillips with Willing Helpers Clinic is here tonight. Ms. Jennifer want to come up and make a report to the board. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight.
Yeah, good evening.
Ms. Jennifer got a crew of people. Y'all come on up. Yeah. Yeah, y'all can step up. Come on up.
Do you have the timer set for me, or would you like me to use mine?
Ma'am?
Do you have the timer set for me, or would you like me to use mine?
Just go ahead. I got it. I'm watching right here.
Okay. All right.
Well, this is not public. This is not citizens' comments. You're in the chairman's report, so I'll let you know when you don't went too long. But go ahead. You good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So Chairman Baines and Commissioners Edwards, Mason, Sanders, Henderson, Cowan, and County Manager Sims. Thank Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening about Willing Helpers Free Clinic. Willing Helpers provides comprehensive medical care to uninsured adults in Newton County who are chronically ill, have limited income, and lack health insurance to access routine medical care. We have approximately 1,000 patients from across the county. The youngest patient is 18, the oldest is 87. I initially spoke to you about health needs of the uninsured and the services provided by the clinic and requested consideration for ARPA funding in early December of last year. On 12/6, I emailed our proposal with a request for $750,000, which would allow us to continue current operations for the next 2 years and also to expand services due to the influx of new patients affected by the pandemic. On 12/7, I spoke before you. On 12/15, an email invitation went out to tour the clinic and learn more about the services that we provide. Voicemails went out on the 3rd week of January and the 2nd week of February. On March 23rd, a follow-up email was sent with clinic services data and notification that the clinic had less than 2 months of funding in the bank, that I, as the director, had stopped taking a paycheck, and that we were going to have to cut services to 2 days a week. On 3/31, a follow-up email with a specific request for funding from each district was sent. On 4/21, a follow-up email notification that the clinic was pending shutdown of regular services was sent. And on May 27th, the last email went out that said that the clinic would close to regular services on Thursday, May 5th. I've come to you this evening to make an urgent emergency request for ARPA funding for Willing Helpers on behalf of the uninsured residents of Newton County. Georgia has the 3rd highest rate of uninsured people in the nation. Newton County, our rate is higher. For a county of 115,000 people, over 12,000 adults between the ages of 18 and 65 do not have health insurance. We estimate that at least 3,000 of those residents qualify for our service, meaning they have an undiagnosed or untreated chronic illness. This number does not include the seniors who come to see us who are 65 and older, who do not have outpatient medical care due to a lack of Medicare Part B because they can't afford the $150 a month copay, and folks who otherwise do not qualify for Medicare or Medicaid services. Willing Helpers is the only source of free health care for the people of Newton County. We are it. There is nothing else. Our mission is to address healthcare disparities, the inequality that results from the social determinants of health, like economic stability, income, stable housing, access to insurance, services, and systemic racial bias. We do this by providing access to free, quality health care that addresses a patient's individual medical, economic, and cultural needs and respects them as equal partners in their health care. You know, I'm sure, that Newton County's primary racial makeup is about 48% Black, 44% white, about 6% Hispanic. Our clinic statistics for what we treat are roughly the same. But what you may not know is that Black and Hispanic patients are twice as likely to have amputations related to diabetes and blood flow issues as white patients. White patients are more likely to get expensive revascularization procedures. The same goes with people who are poor. When you lose a limb to diabetes or vascular issues, half of those people will be dead in 5 years. What we see at the clinic is usually it's more like 2. And again, we are the only source of care for these people. Willing Helpers arranges free insulin, the newest anti-diabetic medications, each of those over $500 per month per medication if you are uninsured. Access to podiatry, a monthly foot clinic, a nutritionist, a nurse educator, a social worker, and more wraparound care to improve the health of the people in this county. Willing Helpers treats under-resourced people with incredibly complex illness. It's not uncommon for our most complex patients to have over 20 daily medications and to be known by name and address to both EMS and the emergency room. We treat patients with recurrent diabetic coma, stroke range hypertensive crisis, strokes, heart attacks, severe diabetic complications and wounds, amputations, heavy emergency room, and ambulance utilization, which affects the rest of the people in the county and those who are insured. These issues, they already existed in Newton, but the pandemic was the tipping point and the match that lit that powder keg. Since March of 2020, we have had an incredibly sharp increase in the number of new patients, overall visits, and the complexity of those patients. We attribute that influx to working families that were furloughed or laid off due to the pandemic and lost their employer-sponsored health coverage, as well as many who have been hospitalized with COVID and found to either have something previously undiagnosed or, with a good chunk of these patients, to have a new illness that's directly COVID-related. COVID, the illness can be over quickly, but the lasting effects, it affects lungs, kidneys, heart, and brain. Due to severe long-haul COVID, that's another huge chunk of what we're seeing. We also saw an increase in visits from our current patients, many of whom have had their chronic illness exacerbated by COVID or came to the clinic instead of the emergency room for fear of catching COVID. Our patients who are already vulnerable due to chronic illness, low income, and lack of insurance are struggling more than ever to pay for simple, relatively inexpensive things like generic blood pressure medicines, diabetic testing supplies, or food. We have started to give out food at the free clinic, and we opened a pharmacy because our patients had to choose between food and medicine. Aside from the increase in the need for our services, the clinic lost a significant portion of our volunteer manpower due to COVID. Prior to the outbreak, 80% of everything we did was strictly volunteer. But many of our most dedicated volunteers had to retire or take extended leave because they were at high risk for COVID or age, pre-existing condition, or they were pulled away to do additional work at their own medical practices or the hospital, because that's where our volunteers come from. This clinic saves the community well over $1 million in current and future health costs every year. Over $400,000 of that savings comes from reduced emergency room visits just for blood pressure. In addition to community savings, my clinic resource coordinator, who is salaried at less than $20,000 a year, arranges over $1 million worth of free life-saving medicines, including insulin, blood thinners, seizure medications, and respiratory inhalers every year. For every dollar that I spend on her salary, we provide $57 worth of free medication. Patients treated at our clinic are also significantly more likely to be able to return to the workforce when their chronic conditions are under control.
Ms. Jennifer, I hate to cut you off, but
Yes, sir.
I have some other people that I got to let present tonight. Is there anything that you want to leave the board with, or you want to make a ask of the board or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. $750,000 would let us operate at expanded capacity, including medications and specialty visits, through the end of 2024, when this funding has to be spent. Our patients are poorer and sicker than ever before. With your support, we can make a substantial improvement in the health and quality of life for your constituents. Please consider tonight emergently funding our clinic so we can stay in operation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Let me get viewpoint up, and then you guys can ask questions, okay? Viewpoint, Ms. Jennifer, if you guys would come on up.
Hi there, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you for the opportunity, Commissioners. I'm Jennifer Hibbard, and I serve as the CEO at Viewpoint Health. And with me tonight, I have our board chairman, Mr. Keith Ellis, who's also a Newton County resident. And I have our CFO, Mr. Eric Naughton. And then also with me is Daryl Corder, our Director of Specialty Substance Use Services. Some of you have had the opportunity to tour our Kirkland campus, where we have many of the services that Daryl oversees. So he's here with us tonight. So to start with, I wanted to just give a quick overview. And a reminder that Viewpoint Health is a public authority established by law. I say that we're the public health version for mental health. We were carved out of public health back in 1994 to serve as the safety net for individuals who are low income and uninsured for mental health and substance use needs. And we do serve Gwinnett, Rockdale, and Newton County. These are our board of directors, and we are also honored to have Chairman Bain serve on our board of directors.
Thank you, ma'am.
The board of directors are appointed by the county commissioners of the 3 counties that we serve. We do have 1 board appointed seat as well. So just to give you a snapshot of the community need for the ask that we're coming to you for tonight. Tonight we're going to talk about a detox unit, a unit that is specifically made to help individuals detoxify off of substances. Gwinnett, Newton, and Rockdale Health Department reported in 2020 that there were over 2,000 overdose deaths in Georgia. So just within Gwinnett and Rockdale and Newton counties, there were 152 overdose deaths, and 80% of those deaths were attributed to opioids. The Gwinnett, Rockdale, and Newton Sheriff's Departments collectively reported that in 2020, there were 1,800 individuals cited for public intoxication. So these were individuals that could have been treated from a detox center. So the definite need is out there. Additionally, we've had a milestone as a nation in 2021, April 2021. In the last 12 months prior to that, the CDC reported more than 100,000 overdose deaths. That's the highest ever recorded. So there's definitely a need for overdose services and detox services. We do currently provide those services at our crisis stabilization unit that is located in Gwinnett County in Lawrenceville. That's a 23-bed unit. And it's not dedicated only to detox. This is also where we serve individuals who are in a mental health crisis, either suicidal thoughts or a psychiatric crisis such as psychosis. But we also serve individuals who are in need of detox. In fact, about 27% of the admissions at that unit are detox related. So here in Covington, off of Kirkland Road, we have our Kirkland campus, where we have a Grand Recovery Center. This is a traditional 28-day program. You might be familiar with that, but it's a 32-bed unit that is a program that people come and stay for a month, up to 6 weeks, where they can really embrace their recovery. So what we would like to add to this same campus is a separate detox unit. So if somebody comes in need of detox, instead of going to the crisis unit in Lawrenceville, they could come to the detox unit right here on this campus. And if needed, they could then just walk right up the hill when they're done detoxing and be admitted to Grand. And if they're homeless and they need to stay further, we actually have apartments on that same campus. We've got 15 beds of recovery supported housing where individuals could stay. So we would really have a whole comprehensive continuum right there. So this is where we are looking at, you're going to detox, then maybe you could go to Grand, and then you could go to substance use recovery. There's really not another complex like this in our area, in the metro Atlanta area. So the detox unit, like I said, is located on Kirkland Road. This is a building that we currently have, but we're renovating. And we were fortunate to receive a state contract for operational cost for the next 3 years. But we have to self-fund the construction, which is $200,000. And so tonight, that's what we're asking for, is the $200,000 for the construction cost to renovate this space so that we can add the detox unit to this property. Any questions?
Thank you. So what I'll do for you making your presentation, we'll have an opportunity to respond to you. I have to get one more team up before 7:30.
Okay.
We got zoning at 7:30, so I will get a commissioner's opportunity to respond to you as well as willing helpers.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
all right, thank you so much. So we have FCCLA, guys, if you would please come on up. Ms. Felicia in Liberty Middle School. FCCLA. Thank you guys for being here. Y'all are precious as y'all want to be. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I have about 8 minutes that I can give you before we go into zoning. Again, thank you so much for being here. I know what you guys, my daughter used to be involved, and she used to be a big cheerleader for this, so I'll get out your way.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Commissioner Baines, and Edwards, Mason, and Henderson, and Ms. Sanders. We thank you for your opportunity. We are from Liberty Middle School, and we are petitioning your support to use our opera funds to support our student leaders. They have accomplished so much, and I've already sent you guys the email, the information as to what the trip or what the travel will entail, but they have a short presentation for you.
Okay.
Good evening, all. My name is Clarkson Lowe, and I'm Liberty Middle School's Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, also known as FCCLA's chapter president for the 2021 through 2022 school year. I am in 8th grade, and this is my 3rd year in FCCLA. This evening, Liberty FCCLA would like to petition for your all support for our trip to the National Leadership Conference in San Diego, California in June. It will be greatly appreciated to have the City of Covington's contribution to our trip.
Good evening, all. My name is Emily Armendariz, and I am Liberty Middle School FCCLA First Vice President. I'm in 8th grade, and this is also my 3rd year in FCCLA. As a chapter, we have done a lot to give back to our community. For example, we supported those affected by Hurricane Ida, sponsored the first baby born at Piedmont Newton Hospital, and abided by the slogan, "Keep Covington Beautiful."
For the New Year's Baby Project, we were highlighted on the Covington News for collecting and donating baby items to 2022's first newborns at Piedmont Newton Hospital. For keeping Covington beautiful, we have done things like cleaning up the park, making a garden at our school, and also donating toiletries, clothing, and school supplies to the victims who are affected by Hurricane Ida.
This opportunity will not only benefit our chapter financially, but will also expand our network and increase our confidence and self-esteem.
As to why who will be presenting a workshop with the topic of public speaking. In this workshop, I will teach members and officers how to lead their chapter to success.
So as you guys can see, we have been very active in our community, and we would like to, number one, share with you all the things that we've done. As I said, that we have already sent the email out as to how much we need, but fortunately, we have been doing some fundraising, and that cost has reduced significantly. However, we still need about $9,000 for the students to go, but any support will be greatly appreciated from the board. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Again, I will let the board have an opportunity to comment after we come out of zoning. So if you guys will hang tight, thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Mr. Sims, you want to try to take a stab at the county manager report?
Yes, sir. I'll
got
go
like 4
really
minutes.
quickly.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So what we like to do tonight is to just highlight for the month of April. Next slide.
You wanna come back? Okay, all right. Well, it's approximately 7:27. Again, we wanna thank all of you guys for being here tonight. Ms. Applewhite, if you guys would, come on, I'm sorry. Okay. If you guys would come on up, we have a few minutes. Guys, if you would, we're gonna go ahead and, while she's coming up, we're gonna ask for an approval of the consent agenda. I seek a motion, please.
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you so much. It passes 5-0. Time is moving mighty slow tonight. Normally time would be flying by. Patrick, we can go ahead and get going? Thank you, sir.
My clock says 7:30.
Let me ask you this question. Are all of your people here that needs to be here? Anybody on the applicants, is they here tonight?
These are just two resolutions tonight,
Oh, okay.
Chairman.
Cool.
Yeah, not zoning cases.
Okay, cool. Good.
All right, good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. This evening we have two resolutions before you. The first one involves the CIE, Capital Improvement Elements and the Short-Term Work Program. It is Resolution R05032022, and it is a resolution to adopt the approved fiscal year 21 CIE STWP report. So the fiscal year 21 Capital Improvement Element and Short-Term Work Program was heard by the board on April 5th, 2022, and approved for transmittal. It was subsequently sent to the Department of Community Affairs for review and approval. So tonight, staff is requesting the board to adopt this, the fiscal year 21 Capital Improvement Element and the Short-Term Work Program and the addendum showing the CIE Short-Term Work Program report by the resolution R05032022. Once approved and adopted, staff will send a report back to the Northeast Georgia Regional Commission within 7 days, and this would conclude the annual reporting requirement and keep the county in line with the planning portion of our local qualified government status.
Thank you. Ms. Applewhite, we did have a public hearing on this, but the first part of this, so do we need to open back up?
We had a public hearing last month, sir.
So we don't need to open it back
No,
up, right?
not this
Okay.
time.
Guys, I seek a motion, please. Can I get a motion, please? Commissioner Cowan.
Make a motion to approve the resolution R05, I can't read it, it's R050322A regarding the short-term work program.
I know some people may not have heard that. It's R05032022. Can I get a second, please? Thank you. It's been motioned by Commissioner Cowan and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 4-0. Thank you. Ms. Applewhite.
Chairman, our second resolution today involves our current moratorium. The resolution number is R050322A, and it is a resolution of the Newton County Board of Commissioners further extending until July 19th, 2022, an existing moratorium on the acceptance of applications of zoning petitions and preliminary plat concept plan petitions for new residential development. On April 11th of this year, an emergency resolution for this moratorium was heard at a special call meeting for the Board of Commissioners, which extended it until July 19th. And tonight we are here for the public hearing portion of it.
Thank you.
So,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna, so the board does hereby extends the moratorium barring until July 19th, 2022, the acceptance of applications of zoning petitions and preliminary plat concept plan petitions for new residential development. The moratorium imposed by this resolution shall terminate on the earliest date of 1, July 19th, 2022. 2, approval by the Newton County Board of Commissioners of an additional moratorium after a public hearing, or 3, the adoption of an amendment to the current language of the Unified Development Ordinance. And 3, the resolution shall be effective upon a majority vote by the Board of Commissioners. And just to recap currently what the moratorium entails, with the extension, the moratorium currently allows 1 already approved preliminary plats to petition the Planning Commission for an extension of those preliminary plats. And this does not include any brand new or raw land projects that have never been approved in some capacity by this board. And 2, the moratorium allows for development of 1 home per 2-acre lot to move forward to the Planning Commission without request for the preliminary plan. So those are the 2 conditions that the board previously allowed, and we're just asking to extend it on till July 19th.
Thank you.
Where we'd have everything in there.
Thank you so much. It is approximately 7:33. We're going to open it up now for our public hearing. The applicant will be us. Yeah. So those in favor, you have 10 minutes tonight to speak. If you want to come at this time, please state your name and your address for the record, please. Those in favor, if you would, please come tonight. Anyone in favor tonight? Anyone in favor tonight? That portion of our public hearing is closed. We also allow 10 minutes for those that want to oppose tonight. You may come at this time. Please state your name and address for the record, please. Anyone want to oppose tonight? Anyone want to oppose tonight? Thank you. That portion of our public hearing is closed. Ms. Apple, wait, if you would, please. Come on back up. Guys, I seek a motion, please. Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I'd like to move for approval of resolution of the Newton County Board of Commissioners to further extend until July 19th, 2022, an existing moratorium on the acceptance of applications of zoning petitions and preliminary plat concept plans petitions for new residential development. I believe that completes it.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a second? Thank you, ma'am. It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Sanders. Any discussion? Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, Sheena, Ms. Applewhite, the last, I'll call it a condition, was the 2-acre minimum. That does not only apply to a single 2-acre tract, but a, for lack of a better term, subdivision of 2-acre tracts. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir. If there's a new subdivision that would like to come forward, they would have to adhere to the 2-acre minimum lot size currently.
2 acres per home?
Yes, sir.
Yes, all right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ms. Sheena.
Anyone? Commissioner Henderson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I guess, I don't know who, I guess this is to the county manager or to whomever. When are we gonna vote this either up or down? I mean, it's been months. It seems like we do a moratorium every month. And, you know, so I guess, do we have an estimate of time when we might vote on it?
I can.
I mean, what's the, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So the deadline that was given by the board was July 19th. We do have a work session scheduled for the 17th to bring it before the board. The amendments we're recommending for approval before the board, that would be at just before the next meeting. And then it goes to the Planning Commission in June, and then comes back before this board in July for the final approval. And the moratorium would expire in July at that time, too.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Commissioner Cowan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Evidently, my mic's not working, but this is, that's all right. It's working. Patrick, just make sure we're on sound legal footing here in this, because we have, as Commissioner Sanders said, that Commissioner Henderson said, we have extended this thing over and over and over and over again.
So the law authorizes you to impose moratoria for specific purposes. And as long as we are progressing towards that specific purpose, we are probably in good shape. The law does not specify how long a moratorium can be. There are moratoriums I'm aware of that have been in place for years. I question when they've been in place for years whether the government's really progressing towards solving the problem that created the need for the moratorium. And in this instance, your planning and zoning staff has been progressing. It's a rather big project. It would seem like it's just easy to change density in the code and move on. But when you change one section in your UDO, you end up changing, those changes sprinkled throughout the UDO. My office received yesterday another chapter of a revision to the UDO, and we're expecting maybe tomorrow yet another chapter.
Yes,
so I expect that this will be the last time you'll be making this extension. I think we have a pretty clear schedule and a pretty clear path to July to resolve this.
Is this continuing to go up until July 19th? Is that correct?
That's the date. And unless we get it done before then, and I think the schedule you just announced would put us right at July 19th.
It would, sir, because we have to go to the Planning Commission first, and that is in June, and then come back here in July.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Applewhite, can you share one more time what the next Board of Commissioners work session is? I missed that date.
Yes, I got approval for the 17th, which will be the second Board of Commissioners meeting, so it will be at the 6 p.m. hour, just before.
So the 17th of May?
May, yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. We had a motion by Commissioner Edwards, and it was second by Commissioner Sanders. Thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. It passes 4-1.
Thank you,
Thank
Chairman.
you so much. Mr. Jarvis, you want to, Mr. Sims, I'm sorry.
You're fine, sir. So this is our monthly report for the month of April. For our animal service department, we had a local vendor that donated some time and supplies to spruce up the landscaping at our shelter. They also donated $600 in gift cards and are planning to construct a larger plate yard with several outside kennels for our dogs to enjoy. Next slide. For our developmental services department, we had 101 permits issued in the month of April. Revenue collected was over $221,000. For new license, we had 42. For renewal, we had 442. Revenue collected was over $54,000. Zoning applications, we had 12. Revenue collected was over $2,300. Planning development applications, we had 7. Revenue collected was about $2,100. For our elections office, we have prepared 3 advanced voting sites for the May election. As of March 2022, there are 77,765 registered voters and 7,648 inactive. Next slide. From our EMA, they're coordinating training for Newton County citizens for emergency preparedness and stop the bleed. We also conducted some training and needs assessments throughout the county facilities, and we are continuing to promote Code Red to assist our citizens. Next slide. Fire services, finalizing our Station 4, and we also start working on the forestry facility building with renovations to become for a new fire station. Information services staff responded to 238 support tickets for the month of April, and we completed 16 hours of online training. We also have started the process for our mobile device management policy, which we will be launching our countywide application or our countywide app in the month of July. We also upgraded one of our conference rooms in our admin building, the second floor, with new video conferencing system. From HR department, we had 14 new hires. We had 8 offboarding. We posted 8 vacant positions in various sites. And also this week is our Public Safety Appreciation Week. which all of our employees are greatly appreciated, and we enjoyed our Taco Tuesday today. Parks and Recreation, we started our adult softball. Our splash pad will open on Memorial Day, and our football and cheerleading registration also started on May 2nd. Our PIO, this is really good. We're tracking now with data for our Facebook views, so we have over 2,927 total for 4 videos for the month of April. For our YouTube followers, we had 130 for our 4 videos. Now for Facebook, we've reached with our videos over 32,000 followers in the month of April, which is a 16 increase from a year ago. For Instagram, 737, which is a 23% increase from a year ago. And we currently have over 15,000 followers on Facebook for us. And the month of April, the top content was our Harper application, which 20,503 people had an opportunity to see, as well as for our YouTube channel, 264 new subscribers and 1,100 views in the month of March. Department highlights for Public Works, trash pickup, 2,700 bag counts, and total, as far as taken to the landfill, 16.96 tons. And we are also continuing to work our LMAG projects, 3 major roads, Booker's Hill Road, Macedonia Church Road, and Walnut Lane were resurfaced during the month of April. And that concludes our month of April report, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm gonna bring back up Miss Jennifer from Willing Helpers. Let's see if the board has any questions for you, ma'am. Hey, I know Commissioner Cowan had his hand up first. Got you? Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question is not to you, but to Patrick and to the chairman.
I'm gonna ask if you could just speak up just a little bit more.
Oh, I got the mic.
Yeah.
Hold on, man. I'm gonna use this hand deal.
It's on.
Okay. Thank you very much. Lost my train of thought here. All right. Can we amend this? I know we've already approved the agenda, but I was expecting this to be on the agenda item for a vote. Both of these items here. Can we amend the agenda at this point to consider this and go ahead and get this done? Because from my understanding, these groups are out of money. And these ARPA funds were designed for this type of services.
The agenda belongs to you. Well, the agenda belongs to you, and if you choose to amend it, you can. My recommendation will remain to be, I'm not a fan of kind of the piecemeal handing out. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I'm not a fan of the piecemeal distribution of ARPA funds. I'd rather you make all the decisions at once, but it's your decision. Yeah, the agenda belongs to this board.
Well, these two particular items are kind of an emergency type thing. I think we ought to consider that. I don't know if there's a provision in the ARPA funds for emergencies, but if there is, this is clearly one of those things that would qualify for that. So, that being said, I would like to see the agenda amended to go ahead and take care of Miss Phillips, the Willing Helpers Clinic, at this point, and go ahead and let's vote on that so that they can have their money distributed to them.
Are you making that in the form of a motion?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Cowan, District 5 has made a motion that we amend the agenda tonight to add giving ARPA funds to Phillips-Willing helpers. Is there a second? Is there a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Cowan and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? Commissioner Sanders.
This is not more so of a discussion. This is kind of how the ARPA funds kind of work. We're dealing with federal dollars and Department of Treasury. What we've done as a board is separated the funds by category, which includes the nonprofit as well as the small businesses. At this time, the ARPA committee does not have a policy in place on how to distribute those funds because we have to be fair to every nonprofit that comes before the board, and we only allocated a certain amount out of the $10 million that we received for nonprofits. So what we done was got with our interim county manager to make sure we have a consultant on board so the legislators are not a part of the decision process and that we have a process in place. In regards to Commissioner Henderson's request, each commissioner was allocated, well, we voted to give each commissioner $1 million to spend within their community based on the category. So I know Commissioner Henderson submitted to us to spend a certain amount out of his funding that was allocated to him to Viewpoint Health. So that's the difference between that, because we don't have a process in place. So in order to be fair to every nonprofit, because we had a whole bunch of nonprofits that came before us, we have to have a policy in place to be fair to everyone that comes before us and make sure we're not going against the policy and procedures that the Department of Treasury put in place, because we as the commission can get in trouble for that.
Okay. Commissioner, who's who I had? I think it was, you good? Okay, so I got Commissioner Henderson and then Commissioner Edwards and then Commissioner Cowan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And just as Commissioner Sanders has stated, we had from our $1 million that each one of us had that we could spend within our district, I had picked up the $200,000, which is very important to me for Viewpoint, because I had went out and we had looked at the facility and we knew that there was what needed. But we also had did an assessment and other things that were needed. You know, we asked for $500,000 for Nelson Heights for expansion of the building. We asked for $200,000 for a food pantry that would literally distribute food to an underserved community that need food in it. And I'm sorry, I just get a little tongue-tied, a little emotional when I start thinking about the needs, what they are. But the point that I'm trying to make is that we got to have some kind of way for us to distribute our monies, and we need to give each one of these nonprofits some. I agree, but you know, I looked at Viewpoint. So what I want to do, Mr. Chairman, if we could, if the board and maybe another commissioner will spend all their money on the medicines and stuff that's needed in the community, and that's really good, is needed, then why can't we just allocate the projects or services from each commissioner district for the service that needed in his district or whatever, or wherever he or she wants to spend it at, rather than you know, just taking money and spending it right now, and it really had been set up really good for the entire community.
So, Commissioner, if you asking me, a commissioner can make a motion. Patrick has to identify. Patrick has to identify what's legal and what's not legal. So, Commissioner Cowan, he made a motion to move it as an agenda item. So now it's open for discussion. So once we approve this agenda item, we're gonna come back again and, I'm sorry.
I understand that, but it's just that I believe that we should, like you always imply to me, that we need to do it the right way. We've got a plan. In fact, I think the board members who are in place, I think at some point, he might have placed y'all there. So we want Commissioner Sanders and Commissioner Edwards, along with the county attorney, to, is a committee to set up how these funds should be distributed. We all knew that. So now, I think if, I mean, are we ready to act on all the project, county attorney? Or this just a separate?
So didn't we just give funds to some cable, some people for cable? So Commissioner Cow, so hold on for a second. So we just gave money for, I think, 6 people to get cable in their neighborhood. It wasn't that many people that got cable. We just gave funds to someone to get cable in District 3, if I'm not mistaken. That's not correct? Patrick, I'm addressing Patrick.
Yeah,
Patrick, is that not correct?
We paid Charter, Comcast, one of the cable companies about $8,000. I think it was $12,000 to run cable down the street. I don't remember how much.
Was it ARPA funds?
It was ARPA funds.
Okay.
That's out of the broadband. My only hesitation on you voting tonight is that I don't know all of the details that I would want to know about the potential grant to willing helpers in order that I can tell you, yes, this is an authorized ARPA expenditure. They may very well know that, but I know nothing about willing helpers. I know it. What I heard from them today is the extent of what I know about willing helpers. Nonprofit assistance is one of the authorized purposes for ARPA expenditures. You have to designate, and I'm doing this off the top of my head because I wasn't expecting this issue, and sadly I don't carry all of this around in my head. This is a grant that may require us to identify a adversely impacted community, one that was impacted greater than the rest of the community. And I just, as I sit here, can't shout out to you whatever other requirements we have to meet. My expectation is I will be able to confirm all of those things. I would expect that I could, but if I get equated to something, it's like running title. I'd like to check title before we go to closing. I mean, I just can't give you that assurance that this would be an authorized lawful expenditure right now. So that'd be the one little bit of hesitation about this particular grant.
Okay.
Now, I could give that answer in a day or two. I just can't give it as I sit here right now.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I would like to make a substitute motion to table this issue, these matters, until the county attorney comes back with a legal opinion as far as how this money should be spent. And hopefully during that time while he's thinking, if the board approved this motion, the substitute motion, then they will consider putting the projects that I asked to be paid for by my author fund from District 4. I made that in the form of motion.
Is there a second? It's been, Commissioner, would you like to repeat your motion, please?
Yes, I would like to table to give the county attorney the opportunity to come back and give us a legal opinion as far as how we can disperse these author funds legally.
It's been a motion that we table this by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Sanders. Any more discussion? Okay, we got Commissioner Mason, Commissioner Edwards, and Commissioner Cowan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Patrick, so how quickly would we be able to solidify if the legality of providing these funds to this organization, as well as how quickly can we get a policy in place to ensure that going forward, if we're presented with this type of request again, we have that policy in place? That's my first question. And then my second question is to Ms. Phillips. First of all, thank you for this presentation, and thank you for the great work that you're doing within our community to help these uninsured individuals. Have you, by any chance, sought out funding from any other agencies or organizations? And if so, have they also confirmed that they would be able to assist you maybe a lot faster than this board may be able to?
So I do our development work in addition to day-to-day operations of the clinic, in addition to my work at the hospital. I have kept us afloat with grants throughout this period just because our costs skyrocketed due to the need of care. So we had $168,000 come in last year in revenue, and I raised all of that through grants. We're working on individual and private giving and fundraisers, but none of those are things that are happening, hot and heavy through a pandemic. The issue is that funders make decisions about where they're going to fund, and those can change regularly, particularly as the pandemic is winding down. So instead of understanding that we have this wide swath of the community that can't get services, where your funders are going now is that they want you to do some new and innovative program. So that's where our contributions have kind of dried up. So for the last 2.5 years, I've kept us afloat with significant funding through using the resources we already had and through grant writing.
So you haven't, during this critical period that you're requesting ARPA funds, have you reached out to any other organizations or agencies to see if they were able to assist rather quickly than this board could?
Yes.
And if so, did they confirm or say that they were able to?
I've reached out extensively, and there's no one that's able to help now in the time frame that we need to continue to serve people at capacity. No, sir.
Okay. Thank you. And then Patrick Meyer.
So to answer your questions, Commissioner, with Ms. Phillips' help, I can answer that question tomorrow as to whether this request is authorized under ARPA. I don't mind telling you that I think it is. My expectation is that it is, but you don't want me to guess. Right. Y'all pay me too much money to guess. Right. So as to a policy, I could have a policy that I would recommend tomorrow as well. I just don't know if I don't know if my policy recommendation would satisfy the board. I would need a little bit of information and documentation from Ms. Phillips, which I expect she can get me almost immediately. And I can, with that, turn around and give you a response. I don't mind telling you that the items that Mr. Henderson has asked about, I've already distributed a memo to the ARPA committee about that. So that one we were able to answer already. I just wasn't ready for an answer on this one. But I can have that answer tomorrow.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So you have enough, the funds you have available to you right now, your operations can continue through what date?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday. So, Mr. Chairman, at the proper time, I know we've got a motion and a substitute at this moment. So at the proper time, pending legal review, I'd like to move that this board approve $200,000 of my money to go to this, to help willing helpers and as an emergency stopgap.
You making that informal?
Pending legal approval, and I would like to have it done tomorrow if legal has approved it tomorrow.
So let's get a discussion.
Yeah. Get your second.
So he's making that in the form of a motion. Is there a second? It's another substitute motion. He can. You want to repeat your motion, sir?
Is it proper to make it a substitute motion?
It is.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This time I'd like to make a substitute motion that this board approve pending legal approval and as soon as possible, as soon as tomorrow if possible, that we allocate $200,000 of my allotted $1 million for willing helpers or stopgap measure.
And if you would
Mr. Chairman.
add to that and authorize finance to issue payments, so they're not.
In addition, I would like to authorize finance to issue payment as soon as possible.
So let's do this. Let's do this because I've heard. I ain't sure exactly what I heard, but I think I heard something over here, and I know what I heard over here. So before I accept that motion, let me ask any other commissioners: do they want to opt in on that motion? Because I'm sure I know I heard Commissioner Mason.
Yeah. What I'd like to,
No. Let's get him first.
okay, well, go, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I want to add to that another $150,000 from the District 2 to help support that initiative as well.
I had Commissioner Henderson first. Let me get Commissioner Henderson. Commissioner Henderson.
Well, thank you. Is there any way that doing the substitute motion that to viewpoint that we could go ahead and authorize?
They coming up next.
Okay.
They coming up next.
Thank you.
I had Calvin and then Sanders. I yield. Commissioner.
Well, my suggestion a while ago was going to be that we go ahead and adopt it tonight and allow this contingency for Patrick to give us a legal opinion to make sure it was okay. So I have no problem with what Stan has offered here. But again, we start doing different amounts. I mean, how much did y'all ask for? $750?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we got to figure out how that's going to work out.
So the problem, the issue is that when the board approved, if you remember, you approved a allocation among categories.
Yep.
I think you only allocated $300,000 to nonprofit assistance. So, and I think that's probably why the commissioners over here pulled it out of their district allocation so that we don't blow the chart.
Okay, so do we want all this to come out of our district allocation? Okay, so, all right, I'm just playing with numbers here. If everybody put 100 in there, that would be 500,000, and then you would have 250. I'm sorry, what?
So he put the board stuff.
150 from each commissioner would get it, but
750.
Okay, 150 from each commissioner. I'm perfect with that. That's fine.
So let's make sure we.
I like the math to be easy.
Hold up 1 second. Let's make sure we get clarification on this. So there's a pot of ARPA funds. Each commissioner was allocated $1 million.
Right.
There was a set number that for the pot to go towards nonprofits. Each commissioner can allocate. If Commissioner Edwards want to allocate $500,000 to Willie Helpers, he can. If you want to allocate $500,000 to Willie Helpers, you can.
Well, I think the whole thing, what I'm saying is here to be equal across the board here, what Stan suggested was 150 per commissioner from each one of those. Is that correct?
No, he recommended that he would give $200,000 to Willie Helpers. Commissioner Mason suggested that he would give $150,000 to Willie Helpers. And now it's your turn.
I'm talking about the sidebar Stan and I have been having. We were just talking about 150 from each commissioner would take care of all this.
But the thing
and
is,
be within the number.
The thing is, I would hate to say that because you would put each commissioner on the spot. So if you want to allocate some funds to Willie Helpers, throw out your number, and then let Commissioner Sanders decide whether she want to do it, or Commissioner Henderson decide whether they want to do it, to make everything fair.
What?
Well, each commissioner has their own. They have their own pots that they want to give.
You're right. Everybody just put in 150 and be done with it. Why wouldn't they?
So this is the thing.
Why wouldn't? Let me ask. Why wouldn't anybody be willing to put in 150?
Whoa. So we're not gonna do that. So, commissioners, guys. So what we're gonna do, Commissioner Calvin, would you like to allocate any funds to willing helpers?
Yes.
If you do, what's your number?
Well, whatever makes it equal.
So do you want to give, let's give us a number that you want to give to willing helpers.
Okay, 150.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. That's great. Anyone else would like to make comments? Commissioner Sanders.
Before I make a comment, are we explaining to our residents what's going on? That we're not giving it out of the nonprofit that's allocated. Each commissioner was given $1 million. I know he stated that, but I just want to make sure, because everybody's like, what's going on? So each commissioner was given $1 million. So a lot of us have already allocated a certain amount of funds to our district, but I am also going to put in 150 as well.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Henderson.
Here we go. Okay, just let me say this. I had authorized $500,000 to build an expansion over at Nelson Heights. I think that's part of what Mr. Patrick, the county attorney, was talking about. I also had authorized $200,000 for a shelter, a shed to distribute food to the community, a food bank, and we wanted to kind of fill it up. But make a long story short, I think the amount of money that I had left, and I also had authorized $200,000 to ViewParent. I'm gonna make sure ViewParent get that $200,000 because we know this is very important. But I think if you add all it together, hit me out, somebody, Patrick, with the computer. So how much money have I did already? I'm gonna make sure that I'm on.
By my math,
okay,
$977,100 was what you allocated.
So what's
what
the
you
remainder?
asked to allocate. Now, it hasn't been allocated yet.
I know, but what's the remainder, if any?
$22,900.
Okay, so that's all I can give, $22,900. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good.
All right. So it was motioned by, and again, thank y'all. It was motioned by Commissioner Edwards, and it was second by Commissioner, who was that second by? Commissioner Mason, I think it was. Any more discussions? All in favor? It passed 5-0. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.
And Ms. Phillips, that's a total of $672,900.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Jennifer, I'm sorry, not you. Ms. Jennifer Viewpoint Hibbard, please. I think Commissioner Henderson had already stated that he wanted to allocate $200,000 from his pot of the ARPA funds. Commissioner, are you making that in the form of a motion?
Well, first, Mr. Chairman, I just want to ask this. We know I'm going to give from District 4 $200,000 because, first of all, because it's in my district and we love what ViewParent is doing for the community. But is there any other commissioners who want to give more to that? Could you give something? So, having said,
hey, Commissioner, can we let get a motion on the floor and then you can make that, please?
I make that in the form of a motion.
Thank you, sir.
And can we make sure it's going to be the same stipulation, because I'll have to get some information from you as well.
Yes.
You want to amend your motion to say that the same stipulations that apply?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, and also I just want to put this out here too as well, that other nonprofits such as Ms. Terry James and her organization, we should bring them all up and give them the same opportunity to receive some money. I think that's on the right way.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, sir. It was a motion by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I was looking at the $200,000 and, I thought maybe we were gonna divide it up, but I would like to add an additional $50,000 to that amount to add to Viewpoint Health because I think they're doing great things in the community. So thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Do I hear more?
Hey,
I'll stand up here all night. Yeah.
anyone else? Anyone else? Commissioner Cowan?
Same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing? Same thing as Commissioner Mason or same thing as Commissioner Henderson? Commissioner Mason? Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Anyone else? Commissioner Sanders?
I would also like to donate out of my ARPA funds $50,000 to Viewpoint Health.
Thank you, Commissioner.
You said 50? 50, thank you. Anyone? Is this an option? Auction? I mean, it is an auction. Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I feel like I'm at an auction right now, so
Yeah.
I'll do the same.
Thank you, sir.
50,000 for my allotment.
All right. Commissioner Henderson, would you do me a favor, please? Would you amend your motion to add the total, please?
Most certainly. Mr. Chairman, I amend my motion to add the total. Is it about how much now, Mr. Patrick?
350,000 is what I've got.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
There's a second still? Second. Thank you. It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Sanders. Any more discussion?
Could I just ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
I do think it was a little bit more than 250. Thank you. My CFO was, I could hear his footsteps coming. So it was 400,000.
Oh, is there, who all gave, I had 350,000 and 200. I had 350.
Did you say? 50 and Commissioner Cowan?
Oh, okay.
Commissioner
I
Cowan
left
as
out
well.
Cowan.
I didn't want to leave you out, so.
I know we was making the right hire. I knew it.
400,000.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We
Thank
really
you, guys.
appreciate it.
Guys, all in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you.
Before we move on, could I urge you to amend the agenda to consider a resolution about future nonprofit funding?
You sure can, but we need to bring up one more who was already here tonight.
Oh, okay.
Liberty Middle School. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, y'all. They're not asking for a lot of money. It's okay.
So they could fall under maybe.
Somebody gonna make a motion
Let's make it the same one.
Somebody gonna make a motion that we just put that resolution.
Why don't you just give them money out of the general fund? We won't have to have this discussion anymore.
Again, guys, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. Now, we definitely, I want you to know this going in, because I don't know the outcome of this, but we do support y'all 100%.
Thank you.
I know each commissioner up here, and I am gonna go on the line and speak for all of them. I think we do support y'all 100%. Now, we got to check with legal and make sure that legally this fits, okay? But you want to state your acts again?
Yes. As of today, we are requesting $9,000 for ARPA funds to support our students attending the National Leadership Conference in San Diego, California. FCCLA, which stands for Family Career Community Leaders of America, is a nonprofit student organization, and it is based out of Reston, Virginia.
All right, guys, I seek a motion.
So, well, before you make the motion, there is, rather than your individual allocations, there is a general policy, a general category for, we called it youth engagement, I think, and there, I believe, again, without looking at it, there is an authorization under ARPA to spend money for youth educational opportunities, I think. So I'm a little hesitant. Again, I want to make sure that whatever you do, make it subject on me reviewing and approving it. And again, I'll need some information
Yes,
from
definitely.
from the FCCLA.
FCCLA. Yep. So this will, let's make sure we get a good understanding. So this will not come from each commissioner, it would come from the pot, the youth.
That's what I
Okay.
would recommend, yes.
Okay. Guys, who wanna open up with a motion? Commissioner Sanders?
9,000.
To be exact, it's $9,327.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion, per legal approval. Under our ARPA funds, we do have a category called youth programs to present to give a grant to $9,327 to FCCLA for the youth program that they have currently occurring.
Second.
Thank you, sir. I thought I beat you. It's a motion by Commissioner Sanders, second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now, this is gonna seem like a crass question.
Okay.
Now the school system got more money than we got for ARPA. What happened? Did we apply, did you check with the school?
I have. The Newton County Board pays for me to go to the national conference, and they do not, their policy is that they do not pay for students to attend the conference because that would open it up for all of the student organizations. And there's over 10 student organizations, within the country. So that was our explanation, that was my explanation that was given to me as to why they wouldn't fund our students going.
Yeah, but I'm not doubting what you said. I'm voicing my frustration with the board right this.
I understand.
Right this moment is these ARPA funds were distributed for issues just like this.
Yes.
So I'm a little disappointed there. I don't know all the facts, so I'm sure somebody from the Board of Education will throw rocks at me tomorrow. But I'm a little disappointed with them. But I'm satisfied. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Guys, there's a motion on the floor. All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Motion.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to, on behalf of Ms. Sanders, if it's okay, I'm going to state what I recommend a motion you approve. And
Hey guys,
I'm going
y'all
to
might-
preface it by saying, oh, go ahead.
Hey, guys, y'all might want to hear this. Check this out. Okay.
I'm going to preface what I'm about to say by saying this. In my office, over the past several months while we have worked through ARPA, we have come to refer to ARPA as the Wild West. And you have proven that to be true tonight. I don't mean that in a bad way, but ARPA is this wonderful tool that has really gotten out of the control of most local governments. My recommendation is going forward that this board direct that all requests for funding from nonprofits be presented to and voted on by the ARPA committee members. I don't want to be a voting member, I shouldn't vote, but by the ARPA committee members in public meetings, and then presented to this board as the recommendation for approval or denial of the ARPA committee. This board ultimately has to vote on everything. But I think what that will do is it will provide a more holistic view of all of these requests and some minimalization perhaps of the auction mentality that gets. And I'm not suggesting that these weren't very appropriate entities to receive funds, but I will also say they were the only ones here tonight. So you don't want to punish someone for not being here. You don't want to reward someone for simply being here. I think you want to make sure that you're giving ARPA funds to the most worthy of organizations. And I think a good way to do that would be to require, just like you do with your zoning requests, they go to a recommending body before they go to the final decision maker. That would be my recommendation. And if Commissioner Sanders wants to turn that into a motion.
So let me ask this before you make that motion. So that's Commissioner Sanders, Commissioner Edwards, and the county manager Sims, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Okay, go ahead, Commissioner.
So moved by the county attorney, because he said a lot, so I can't remember all that, but so moved by the county attorney.
Can I get a second, please? Second. It's been motioned by well, listen, let's do this right, because I don't want nobody saying that we didn't do this right. Can we amend the agenda to add this?
Amend the agenda to add and approve. Just make it one vote.
We'll make it one vote. Can you do that?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to amend the agenda to add and approve the actual structure of what our county attorney just stated.
Thank you. It's been motioned by Commissioner Sanders that we add this that we amend this to the agenda and add it and go ahead and approve it. It's been seconded by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion? Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think we have to include a very basic application process for the ARPA board, for the ARPA committee, to review. The most basic of applications.
I think that can be added in the motion, added in the motion, but I will want to say this. Yeah, I think we better do this. Guys, whatever we do, we need to do it quickly. And I want to urge this committee to go ahead and have your meeting and set this up and do it quickly, because I can tell you, tonight word has already been texted out. It's been given out. Phone calls have been made. And people are probably out there lined up around the square. So we want to do this as quick as possible. Mr. Sims, you want to?
I just wanted to chime in and kind of state what you're saying is that we want to be mindful that we might have more requests than availability of funding, and having some processes in place will ensure that we are able to, of course, satisfy the needs of the community, but also just be mindful of adhering to the rigid regulations with the federal government. I think tonight we answer the needs of the community, but then also we just don't want to have a line out the next meeting, everyone seeking funding like we did it tonight, and we're not able to satisfy those needs.
So with that being said, I do want to make sure that we, after tonight, that we get this on our website. Because I agree with you. It's, and I know people are going to be calling in the office trying to get on the agenda, but so we really need to do this kind of quickly, guys. If y'all can, I don't know how quick y'all can meet, but we need to do it quickly. Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Question I have, since I've allocated some of my funds, $1 million that I guess I have, that I don't have, to Viewpoint, when are we going to address the remainder of my funds, which I don't have any there, because I'm spending it all out so they can call me. JC don't have nothing. He's broke. So when we get the remainder of my funds allocated to the projects that we're trying to do.
So let's do this. Let's get this committee to meet as soon as possible. Hopefully y'all can meet. I won't try to push y'all to meet this week, but if y'all can meet the first of next week, that would be great. Commissioner, hey, they're your projects. If you send me a request, I'll put it on the agenda next week. The next agenda, I'm sorry. Any more discussion? All in favor? Hey, yeah. So you know what? Let's do it right. Let's do it right. Let's do it right. Let's get Commissioner Sanders to amend her motion to add the application process. Well, we didn't have we didn't have a resolution either. We have a resolution now.
Move it on.
I want to amend my motion to add an application process for those to submit their funding to the ARPA Fund Committee in regards to receiving funding from the actual federal dollars.
Second.
Thank you. It's been motion and second. All in favor? Thank you. Pass 5-0. Thank y'all. Item number 10, Senior Services requesting approval of VAC5 Funding Contract with Northeast. Which one? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Fire Department. Unfinished business. Fire Service Chief Connor requests approval to purchase an area fire truck. Sir, if you want to come on up tonight.
Thank you, Chairman and Board. This is just a follow-up from last meeting where y'all approved the purchase of that aerial platform. Mr. Randy Fincher called me and said due to county policy, anything over $1 million has to go before the board twice. So we're just bringing it again before the board tonight to get a second approval, I hope, to continue to purchase that aerial platform.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sims, do you have anything?
No, sir. Again, what just the fire chief stated, that we wanted to have it go before you all again twice.
Okay, thank you, sir. Guys, I seek a motion, please. It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you, Chief.
Thank y'all.
Next is Senior Services. Senior Services requesting approval of VAC5 funding contract with Northeast Georgia area on aging and providing information assistance and resources. Ms. Freda Reed is here tonight, and Ms. Teresa Williams. Thank you guys for being here tonight.
All right. We're just requesting that you approve the amount of $8,137 that is being funded through Northeast Georgia for a VAC5 funding contract. And what the contract is, it allows us to bring in resources, information, materials, and things to encourage our seniors to get their vaccine. And this is a no match. It comes to us each month, and we have until September 2022 to exhaust it out.
Thank you so much. Guys, I seek a motion, please. It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you, guys. Pass 5-0. Next is Probate Court. I see Jeff Bryan coming on down. I see Judge Bell. You want to come on down? Come on down.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for earlier. We are here, we're in the design phase of doing an expansion of the probate courtroom that I had talked to you about to make room due to needs caused by COVID. And it's my understanding that they have received bids and the committee has a recommendation to make to you for Sunbelt builders.
Thank you.
That's correct. We went through an RFP process and we received 3 proposals. We were evaluated, and out of that evaluation, Sunbelt was ranked number 1. And so this is to enter into phase 1 of their contract for design services. And we'll be coming back to you with a guaranteed maximum price for construction.
Thank you. And it is budgeted, right?
It is budgeted out of capital improvement funds.
Thank you, sir. Guys, I seek a motion, please. Commissioner Cowell.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Can I get a second, please? It's been motioned by Commissioner Cowell and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Next, ARPA committee is requesting the next quarterly ARPA installments. Check requested in the progress exceeding over $80,000. Commissioner Sanders. Commissioner Sanders.
Commissioners, as you know, Levi for Salvation Army stated that our ARPA fund assistance for the rental, mortgage, and utility assistance is going, I want to say going well, but it's assisting our community. They are almost about to allocate the funds that we already distributed to them. We agreed to give them $175,000 per quarter. They are already at $148,000. They had over 750 applications, and they have checks now waiting to be distributed. So because the funds have been exhausted, are almost exhausted, they're gonna have to stop at a period of time until they get another check from us. So what they're asking is that we go ahead and, if we can tonight, approve to be able to send the second allocation to them so they can keep providing that assistance to the citizens. And as you know, they provide for utility assistance, up to $1,000 for utilities, up to $2,500 for rental and mortgage. So we had a lot of citizens. Newton County's at a 20% poverty rate increasing. So we had a lot of citizens that submitted that needed help and assistance. So we don't want to stop the progress. If you agree to move forward to send that second allocation, that would be great.
I got a question before we do that. Patrick, legally, because I think this went pretty quick. This didn't even take a whole quarter. This took like not even, I don't even know, it was a complete month.
Less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks. So my question is, legally, I know there's a set amount that we set aside to give to this program. What can we do to, legally, what can we do to, if they run out again, they don't have to come back before the board, because the board has already allocated a certain amount to go. Is it possible for them to go into the next 2 quarters, if need be, without coming back before the board?
If this board authorizes it, yes. So,
guys, I want to suggest to you that if the intent was to help people that was in need, that you allocate at least the next 2 quarters, because I'm gonna tell you, my phone hasn't stopped ringing since they gave out the money, and I think they already gave out the money. It's the last call that I got. And unless y'all want to call a special call meeting, if y'all want to do that, then that's fine. But if not, I think we ought to allocate the next 2 quarters. I mean, so the thing is that we're going through the Salvation Army. So they are controlling, and they are patrolling the way they utilize the funds. So it shouldn't cause any problems. There shouldn't be any issues.
if I could recommend, if you tonight authorize the immediate distribution of the next quarterly payment and authorize the county manager's staff to distribute the second next quarterly payment upon presentation of evidence that they've depleted those funds.
That's great. That's great. Let's get this motion. Let's get the motion and then, okay. Will you amend your motion, please?
Well, I wanted to go ahead and say so moved per the county attorney based on allocating the first funds, we're approving that, and then if there's need be, our interim county manager will go ahead and help with his staff to allocate the third allocation.
Thank you. Can I get a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Sanders and second by Commissioner Mason. Discussion. Commissioner Henderson.
Yes, well, let me just say this first. I know the people who are receiving the money for funds and really need it, because I've been down there. You know, I'm the type of person I go get hands-on and get in the crowd and talk to the people, and so we know they are needed. Do we get a list of maybe who they distribute it to? I'm guessing speaking to the county manager. And the reason why I asked that, because the people have called me too as well, Mr. C, and they have told me that sometimes it'll be around 3,000, 4,000. I know we don't give them a certain amount of money. And so, and so it's a lot of bills out there that are humongous. And I think people who are looking for those funds need to also speak with the city of Covington. They do have about $5 million they can spend. I think they are spending for relief from the utility bill. And my utility bill is high. I'm pretty sure everybody else is. And so, but make a long story short, just try to take advantage of all the Arthur funds that have been distributed to the cities and stuff too as well, along with the county. And there's a list somewhere. I would like to take a look at the list.
That, our agreement did require them to report to us, the applicants and the recipients, so we'll reach out to them and ask them to expedite that as well.
I do also, while we're in discussion, I do want to remind, and I hope we get this out here, I hope we still have it on our website. The DCA still have over $500 million that they're trying to allocate to people in need as well. So please don't forget to tell them that they go to the DCA also. I got a motion of second. All in favor? Thank you. It passes 5-0. Next is item number 13, Office of the County Manager requesting permission, a permission letter from Motorola frequency application. Miss Trudy. I see Miss Trudy coming.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here just to request permission to use the county's letterhead for a letter that will go to the Planning Committee, Region 10, to apply for the frequencies and the licensing for the Harmony site that's being built down on Highway 36. The letter basically just says that Motorola is acting on the county's behalf to acquire these frequencies for the county.
Thank you. Legal says it's okay to do that. So, guys, I seek a motion. There's a motion by Commissioner Mason, a second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. It passes 5-0.
Thank y'all.
Next, Commissioner Mason. Alcohol license.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the final reading for Publix Supermarkets, Inc., number 0744, located at 13015 Brownbridge Road, Covington, Georgia, 30016. The applicant is Jasmine Ovacina in District 2.
If you could add to your motion and approve the issue.
I didn't hear you.
Add to your motion and to approve the issuance of the license.
And to approve the issuance of a license.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? All in favor? Passes 5-0. Next on the agenda is citizens' comments. This is an opportunity that we allow citizens to make comments. You have 3 minutes to do so. If you would, please come and state your name, your address for the record, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Teresa Waters. I live at 90 Chandler Fields Drive here in Covington in the Fairview Estates subdivision. So to Chairman, Commissioner Mason, Edwards, Henderson, Ms. Sanders, and Conway. I would like to address my question to Property Manager Sims. I would like to propose and ask in regards to the West Side Community Project. Just for clarity, how is the process going? A little of the background, how is it started, and how far are they into the process?
So the way it works, you ask the board, you ask the board a question, and someone will get back with you. So, County Manager Sims, his assistant wrote the question down, those questions, and they will get you an answer.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. They will provide an answer back to you well, I don't know if they had the answer at the end of the meeting, but they will they'll get an answer to you.
Okay then.
Yes,
so that would be, that's my question.
That's your only
To
question.
the board.
Okay.
Okay, just for clarity, so that I have understanding.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Can you state your name again for the record, please?
Teresa Waters, 90 Chandler Fields Drive, in the Fairview subdivision, Fairview Estate subdivision.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay then, thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Yes, ma'am. Anyone else?
Hi, good evening.
Good
My
evening.
name is Wendy Rodriguez. I've met many of you guys in the past, so I'm here again to speak on behalf of the Fairview Estates community in District 3. First off, thank you again for clarity, open discussion, Commissioner Sanders, and I'm just here again to express my opposition, as well as the opposition of some of the other residents of Fairview Estates that would like the consideration of not putting the West Side Youth Facility in Fairview Estates. There are many reasons, which I will detail in an email later tonight. I think one of the biggest things that I will say is I'm very grateful for the hard work in the last year that we've made with Commissioner Sanders and the rest of the Board of Commissioners to make these improvements to the park. And we've seen it, and I'm very grateful for that communication. Again, I just don't think this is a good location. I think that we can use funds to expand the park like other counties, Gwinnett County, Rockdale County, have had trails where there's land for those trails. Like we could have widened trails, have the ability of the county to come in and use these trails, kind of like in Turner Lake, and then add more exercise equipment besides the equipment that's already there that has recently been added. I think there's more to that land that we can do instead of continuously to destroy our nature that we currently have. Like Fairview Road right now has had so much destruction that my mom was in a car accident because she got hit by a deer because there's been so much destruction both in Rockdale County, which we're on the border of Rockdale, and Newton County. And now you have the apartments that are being built and the gym dealership that destroyed a lot of other land. So we're adding more traffic, and now we're gonna add an additional building that will bring more traffic. And right now, we've discussed this prior, Commissioner Sanders, the entrance, we've addressed it, but we still haven't closed it off. So before we consider an additional building, can we please fix what we currently have, improve it? It's currently being improved, but let's look for another location that would be more accessible to our youth, because it's not about the, it's not about the what, like the actual facility, it's the where. So let's focus on the where and not the what. I think it's a great idea, but let's find a place that's accessible for the youth. So somewhere near Newton High School, somewhere near the other elementary schools. Like we have Fairview Elementary, Live Oak Elementary, and Newton High School. Like find a location that's near them that's walkable or bike. And we have funds from federal government that they're adding trails in that area anyway. So why not find a location that's accessible to the youth that may not have transportation? The point is for the youth to get there, even if their parents or guardians aren't able to take them. So please consider finding a different location that is not Fairview Estates, Fairview Community Park. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it, and I'm welcome to continue to work together to make this a better Newton County. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Please state your name, your address for the record, please.
My name's Tim Park. I'm a physician in the community and practice here for the last 35 years with other physicians. And I've been the medical director of the Willing Helpers Clinic since it started 15 years ago. And I want to sincerely thank you for your consideration tonight, the chairman and all the commissioners. It's a big struggle as physicians and providers trying to take care of people who are uninsured and poor. Most of our patients in the clinic work. They just don't have benefits, added benefits under their jobs. So they have a very difficult time with securing medical services, and particularly with high-cost medication. And Jennifer, through really hard work with pharmaceutical companies and other organizations, literally provides millions of dollars worth of insulin and other high-cost, high-dollar medications that these patients just could not possibly afford. So I really want to thank you for your commitment to the people in this county who are in need medically, and you've done a good thing tonight, and I just wanted to express my appreciation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Good evening, Archie Shepherd, 916 Village Drive, Covington, Georgia. I just want to say to the board, I really want to thank you too. I served on the board of Willing Helper Medical for 10 years. I was there when the late dead Jenkins organized it, and it just did my heart good to see y'all commit the money tonight to avoid the call, because it's a great need here in the county. So many people don't have medical insurance and whatnot. And it's a great service that Willing Helper Medical do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Mary Terry James, 160 Cherry Hollow Court, Covington, Georgia. I was here last year asking for money for Juneteenth, and I was told that we would get it this year, or they would work on giving it to us. I said y'all can find ways to give money to everything but Juneteenth. Juneteenth is a national holiday now, and I don't understand why this board do not want to support it. I mean, it's for our freedom, and everybody knows that. So only thing I don't understand is why y'all don't want to give to Juneteenth. You get to 4th of July, everything else in Covington. I was born here, I know what's going on. And I'm just saying, I don't understand it. Why are you all not? It's all y'all blacks on this board, and I don't understand it. This is our freedom. And you all should jump to give money for this, support it, but you don't do it. And I don't understand it. That's all I have to say.
Anyone else?
My name is Stephanie Lindsay. I'm at 75 Longview Drive, Oxford, Georgia, 30054. And I, too, want to commend the board for the actions taken tonight for Willing Helpers. Also, for the actions taken for Viewpoint Health. The ARPA funds is a unusual beast. And the money that's there can do so much for our community, so much for the people in our community. And I think that when you come together and you decide to do your policy, that it's important to focus on transparency. I think that it's important for all applications to be published online before the date that they're going to present, so that if you're going to have a public meeting, citizens are able to come in and talk on behalf or against whatever the measure is that's being presented to the board. I hope that you take that into consideration when you decide the policies and procedures for that particular measure. Also, there has been a comment earlier today about publishing the names of everybody that has gotten funds from the rental assistance. I don't know what the legal ramifications are of that. I understand that for the purpose of transparency, why that would be. I do know that when you have received PPP money or EIDL money, the federal government has published every single company and entity that has received that. I think that that may be something that the board should take into consideration as it proceeds forward to disperse the rest of the $10 million that has been allocated, and when they get the next $10 million. Because it's important for the community to know that this board is taking into consideration that COVID has been a very, very dangerous pandemic for all of us. And I also want to say, you know, I had COVID in July of 2020, and I thought I was fine. I thought I had no problem whatsoever because I didn't have any effects of COVID until months after COVID, I started coughing a lot. And it turned out that I had damage to my lungs that I didn't even know about. And so when we talk about allocating money, I have the ability to go to the doctor. I have great insurance. I have resources that will help me, but there are a lot of other people don't have those resources. I'm able to pay my rent. The people that are not able to pay their rent, I like the fact that you guys have done something about that. But we need to kind of think about doing things outside the box and making this money spread as far as we can so that we can have this money affect more people than just 10, 12. I think it was great what we did for the kids. I'm pretty sure that y'all gonna get a lot of calls from kids, because I'm gonna tell Newton High to come in here and ask for as much money as possible. Y'all know I bleed blue. But thank you very much for all the work that y'all have done to try to disperse that money.
What's that resolution number? Next. What's that resolution number? Oh my God. I'm gonna get involved. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna get on the phone. I'm telling you, I know it. For real.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Frederick Johnson, 1036 Highway 162 in Covington. Got a couple of, well, anyway, I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, for getting me a key. That is to a cemetery that needs cleaning. People that wanted to get in, and for some reason they weren't able to get in there, but I thank you anyway. But now, while I'm standing, I need to put a couple of things in our hearing. We haven't did any cemeteries the last couple of years, and the cemeteries are getting deplorable. So I was talking to Laura last week. I told her that we're gonna probably get some college students to help us out. So we probably gonna get a chance to do a couple before the foliage get too heavy. But anyway, we'll still be cautious of the virus going on. While I'm standing, let me just say this, let's not forget on the 30th, that's Memorial Day, and we will be having the American Legion Post 32 will be observing Memorial Day on the square at 11 o'clock. So we ask you all to come out and help support this. Also on the 9th, let's see, the fair, the 10th through the 14th. You know, the American Legion, that's the only time that we solicit help, you know, for scholarships and so forth. So just bring your kids and grandkids out to the fairground the 10th to the 14th, which is next week, I think it is, and spend some money so we can do some more scholarships. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening, Chairman.
Good evening, sir.
Rest of the commissioners. My name is Leonard Moody. I'm over at 215 Wisteria Drive, Oxford 30054. And I want to thank you all for what you all did tonight for the clinic and Viewpoint. Of course, Viewpoint, my son went through there, so I know what it's doing. But I also want to address the increased taxes, property taxes. And that's why I'm here tonight. And I don't know what the board could do. They're telling us to appeal. Some, when you call, they said they're appealing it is not gonna make any difference. Well, I think it should make a difference for someone like me who on a fixed income. Now, they're telling me because they sold a house around the corner from me a little bit more than mine, it's what's causing my tax to go up. Well, that didn't increase my income. Selling at home didn't increase my income. And I probably won't get anything out of anything unless I sell my home, which I don't plan on doing. I'm not going to leave Newton County, but I don't want to be ran out. I don't want to lose my home because of high property tax. So I would like for you all to, whatever you can do, help us with the high property tax. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is former Chairman, Mr. Keith Ellis. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for being a big part of Viewpoint Health, actually chairing Viewpoint Health Board now. So thank you for being here.
I didn't plan to speak tonight, but Mr. Chairman, members of the board, staff, y'all did a great job tonight. And you should be proud of the fact that you're working together. I too was an elected official one time, and it is tough sitting around this table up here at times. So that's right. Be proud of yourself. You did good. You helped folks with mental health tonight, physical illnesses, the kids. I hope they come back and give you a good report from their trip. Thank you. Thank you for your service and being here on Tuesday night when sometimes you probably would rather go a different direction. Thank you. It was a good meeting tonight, and you know, TV is just not nearly this entertaining, but this is my first trip back in 6 years. I am going to see if there's something on CBS next time y'all meet. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, anyone else? Yeah. So I'm going to start it off tonight. I normally don't do that, but I am tonight because I am thankful. If anybody got anything to say to the board on tonight, direct all the negative comments to the chairman. I take it. But I am proud of this board. What you guys did tonight, you don't know the magnitude that you guys are making on people's lives in this county tonight. You know, I got family members. That's all right. I got family members that, you know, that are part of Viewpoint Health that have to be there. And I thank y'all for what y'all did tonight. I really do. And I ain't taking no more comments. No, I'm just playing. No, seriously though, I really do appreciate what you guys do. I did on tonight. You really just don't know what you did, but you have made a huge impact on people's lives. I come to work every morning, and there's homeless people. There's homeless people that lay out there on the park. Now they are laying on the bench in the back, and they all are part of Viewpoint Health. They are in that system. So the things you did tonight, I greatly, 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 from the bottom of my heart, appreciate it. Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My first comment has to do with the second phase of the ARPA funding. I'll call it the second 10.5 million. We have to have the mindset now that, you know, we had county officials and elected officials lined up in here a few months ago, ready, trying to stake their claim to that second 10.5 million. So I believe we have to keep that in mind as we progress through additional funding disbursement, and that's what the second disbursement from the federal government, and as far as the first disbursement goes, where I guess the committee will meet and determine where we are in terms of totals and what we have left, but people are real happy with us tonight. But I can tell you going forward, not everybody's probably going to be happy. We're not going to be able to help everybody. If we do, we're gonna have to cut way back on what we're getting. And we're gonna have to prioritize, we're gonna have to make decisions, and I believe that's what we're elected to do. So, I just wanna make sure everybody's aware. We all had a real happy time here tonight. I thought some good things come out of what happened. I'm not gonna overemphasize that, patronize you guys by telling you that again. It was wonderful. But, we got some tough decisions coming, I believe. Taxes, this young man just spoke about taxes. Mine have gone up 35% in the last 2 years. If our millage rate stays the same, mine will have gone up 35% in 2 years, and my income did not keep pace with that. Inflation did not keep pace with that. And so I believe we have to take a hard look at that millage rate again, get what we need for our budget, trim it if we have to, some more. But the tax assessments I've seen are just unreal. I mean, more unreal than what I saw last year. So we have to keep that in mind moving forward as a board. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, I definitely want to say that I am very proud to be a part of this board tonight and what we did. And I want to say thank you to this board. I think we did some amazing work tonight. And I think if we continue to move forward in this vein, we will truly see a major enhancement to our community. And I believe that our residents will be greatly appreciative to what this board offers and the asset that we can truly become and that we are to really be able to take our community to the next level. I wish Ms. Mary James was still here because I wanted to address the Juneteenth issue. I do know that last year there was a decision made, but there were also individuals that did give to Juneteenth. As a matter of fact, I believe Attorney Lindsay actually offered to give to Juneteenth. As a matter of fact, I personally gave a check to Juneteenth, and I'll be doing that again this year to ensure that that particular event is a major success. And so I want to encourage the rest of our community to reach deep into your pockets and really help support this event as well. It is a very, very important event. We do want to celebrate it. And so, like I said, I personally gave out of my own bank account last year, and I plan to do that again this year. And I want to encourage the rest of our community to be able to help in that same capacity as well. And then also, too, hopefully, and I think the last meeting, we had a discussion centered around that. I believe our county manager is going to be working with the historical committee to help them become an appropriation so that because they are a 501c3, that we can begin to provide funding for them. And we want to make sure that all of our 501c3s, that we're giving to them the same way that we are all of them. And so I think he's working on that as well. I also wanted to announce that on May the 20th at 7 p.m., we are starting our Movie in the Park back again at Denny Dow's Park. We had a phenomenal 3-movie series last year at Denny Dow's Park. We have food vendors that will be there. We have a DJ that will be there. We have a local church that we've actually partnered with. They have a prayer booth. They do games for the kids. They also do balloon animals for the kids as well. And so everybody just bring your chairs, bring your blankets, bring your food, or you can support the retail vendors that are going to be there. But on May the 20th at 7 o'clock p.m. at Denny Dow's Park, we're going to start our annual Movie in the Park again. It'll be May, June, July, and August. So get your popcorn and your food and invite all of your kids to come out. We'll be putting together our flyer and we'll put our flyer out as well through social media. I'll be announcing it on the upcoming dates as well. So get prepared and get ready to have a great time. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. I do have two quick announcements that I did forget about. Speaking of Juneteenth, I'm glad you brought that back up. There will be a Juneteenth parade on June the 18th. And they're gonna start at Legion Field. They're gonna be lining up at 8:30. I'm sure there'll be more information given out as that date come upon us. But one more thing, I want to congratulate Commissioner Sanders for being a new, I lost my train of thought. Certified, there you go. Thank you. A new certified county commissioner. She just received her certification in Savannah. There you go. She did. She just received her certification in Savannah this past weekend. So congratulations for that task. Now, Commissioner Sanders.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I just want to put on record, being the newbie on the team, this is the best meeting I've ever been to. And we're known as the reality show of Newton County, but this is the best one that I've ever been to, and I want to thank everyone for giving, because that's what I believe in, public service. I really want to thank you so much for that, for making this a memorable moment, because I felt like Oprah for a minute. You get 1,000, you get 100,000. And I had to realize, wait, you only have 1 million, so you have to sit back. But on May 7th, we have in the Brunch and Learn for women. If you are looking to purchase a home, if you have a rental, and this is for the ladies, this is Mother's Day weekend, we have some real estate agents, brokers who are all going to be providing workshops from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can go on commissionersanders.com. We have catered food as well, but it's a brunch and learn to teach you how to become homeowners, to flip that from becoming a homeowner. On May 25th and 26th, I'm honored that I was chosen by NACO to represent Newton County in Arizona to go and speak on, not speak, but to learn more about behavioral and mental illness in regards to assisting our law enforcement in identifying that when they actually pick up various individuals who have mental illness. So I'll be representing Newton County in Arizona, so I'm excited about that. In regards to the ARPA funds, for me, I know I can't do this right now because we're not in a board meeting, but I'm going to put on record, out of my ARPA funds, I will be donating $100,000 to the Historical Committee for Juneteenth. So hopefully my board members will come on board with that. I know Commissioner Henderson, you don't have any more funds, but I will be, so we won't have this issue going forward. And to my District 3 committee, my Fairview committee, nothing has been discussed yet in regards to the West Side Community Park. We, as a board, already voted for the allocation of the funds. I'll be getting with the county manager and our Mr. Jeff Prime, and also our Parks Director to go over everything. I believe that we can come up with something and work together to make sure we provide something for our youth. One of the issues is that our youth, we always talk about crime in our community. Our youth have nothing to do. We talk about various things in the park, it's because they have nothing to do. So we have to find some solution and come together to do something for our youth. As I stated to our commissioners and also to some of the constituents, Newton High School population, the max is 2,500. And from, I might be off a little bit, but right now, the population at Newton High School is 2,480. So you do the math. They're almost at a max. So you have children in this community that are resulting to crime and so forth because they have no programs, nothing to do. And we also spoke to Parks and Rec, and we had a consultant come here who stated that District 3 is the most dense community and the most populated community in Newton County and has no Parks and Rec and nothing for our youth to do. And I think what the issue is, in the beginning of the year, I presented this massive community center, and I had a rendering. So I think when everybody's mind is that the West Side Youth Facility is this community center that I presented. Those are two separate projects. The community center, and Mr. Jeff Prime can speak on that as well, is going on a total different property. So we will come together with our county manager, inter-county manager, and so forth to discuss everything. So nothing has been discussed, nothing has been released. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you. Well, homelessness is something that I think most people don't see part of the time. Go over to Rite Aid right here off of Emory Street. In the afternoon, late at night, you see people sleeping out there in front of the building. There's a lot of homeless. I'll tell you another place you can go. You can go right over behind Food Depot in the woods. A lot of people sleeping over there. But my point being is that that is an issue that we do have here in, I know in Covington and probably surrounding areas. It needs to be addressed. I like to be like in front of the curve instead of behind the curve. So, but we're not in front of the curve, we're behind the curve. We need to help Reverend Led or whomever to provide place and shelters because they're coming from Atlanta. If you look at TV, which I watch sometimes, you see where they're having them to move on a little bit further. And they're moving on down this way, a heap of them. And some people live here are homeless. So we are having a problem. So we need to address that ASAP as soon as we can for the citizens of Newton County. And secondly, we was in a debate over at St. Paul Church. Pastor DeMond and myself, and the citizen stood up and she said, well, she wanted, she was looking at me, but I thought she was maybe looking at both of us. And she wanted a moratorium on rent because she was telling us that she couldn't pay it. And so I gave her my word that I was going to come back and speak with Mr. Patrick and for him to tell me, can we have a moratorium on rental of property for their rent? Now, let me say this. I wasn't just born yesterday. I don't think we can, but I'm no lawyer. I want him to give me a legal opinion on that so I can take it back and make sure they know. And so that's all what I'm saying is that there's a heap of things that are going on in our county, the county that I love, I'm pretty sure all of us over here, that we need to be addressed. From gangs to homelessness, into the minimum wage. So if we can work together as a community, I think we can solve a whole lot of these problems. And we work together this evening in helping organizations. We should work the same way to help more nonprofit organizations, as Commissioner Sanders said. And if I had some money, I would give another $100,000 Juneteenth, but I don't spend all mine. But that's what we need to do as a community. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Cowan. Thank you, guys. We do have a seniors, I forgot to make that announcement too. We do have a seniors walk, May 6th. You know what? I better get this information and give it to y'all. Right. We have a seniors walk on May 6th. We're going to start here out there on the square at 10:30 a.m. Anybody that want to come and support the seniors, it's the chairman and mayor senior walk. So guys, if y'all don't have anything to do, come out there and help. We're gonna walk a mile with the seniors on May 6th at 10:30. Patrick.
So I normally wouldn't do this. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to acknowledge the board's good work tonight too, and not because you gave money to these organizations. The lawyer in me doesn't care whether or not you give money to worthy organizations. I want to acknowledge the way y'all did it. Y'all disagreed, you talked it out, you listened to one another, you came to a decision. 6 months ago, that wouldn't have happened. I mean, it just wouldn't have happened. And so I hope you'll remember that, you know, taking a minute, letting the debate happen, the debate's an important part of what you do, and working towards a resolution, whatever that resolution is. If you do that, you'll have a lot of these good meetings. So I want to thank y'all for doing that and congratulate you. And I can, Mr. Henderson, the answer to your question is no. I'll send you something in writing. But thank y'all.
Thank you so much, guys. I seek a motion that we adjourn. It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards, second by Commissioner Mason. All in favor? Pass 5-0. Thank you.